Welcome back to nowhere. Nobody here. So we've got our medieval make-believe microphone on the medieval microphone stand. So actually, there's only one microphone for this. This only has one thing in. So, but please do speak into the microphone. I really like to share. I like your sharings. I learn so much. I learn 1,000 times more than I normally do in these little sessions. When people share, like last week, Grace was sharing about the rock bouncing down the motorway that was going to probably kill her, and then swerve to one side, and it brought up all these questions like, was that a guardian angel? And for sure it was a guardian angel, very sure about it. So it brings up these almost metaphysical, thoughts and feelings which nobody else agreed with. They went, I haven't got no guardian angel. Which I thought was very interesting, because that shows also, it gets people to open up and share those things too. And that can also lead on to some nice other stories and sharings about those kind of topics and the ways to think about it. Also throughout the week, those questions kind of bounce down the week, and I was thinking about those. The way that your Sīla is a guardian angel, and the way that your samādhi is a guardian angel, that you've got these around. They're always present, they're always possible. Impermanent, they're sometimes there, sometimes not, but they're when you need them, kind of thing. So that was very sort of dense talk. There were lots about some topics, but this is open for any question or any observation or thing that people would like to explore. We've got about 20-25 minutes or so. But just a reminder, that one was on questions of things like identity. What is this thing? How is this? And how does this thing, anatta, non-self, what is that all about? It's a question you can come back to again, 100,000 times from different ways. And this brushed on things from things like the dinner party things where people are competing and comparing, which is very, very common, or siblings. I was telling about my sister, those kind of comparisons, daily life things. Status, status is a big one, and hierarchy. We were talking this with a Venerable Sister yesterday. It was a nice conversation about this, whether some of us are believing very much in sort of hierarchy and this low and this person's high, or we're in the dissolved state where people are more or less, we're all equally dissolved, we're all equally 5 aggregates, we're all equally empty. So, and then you see these things as just nothing, not important. So do you put great importance on ranking, like it was talking about, like who's high, who's super low, who's super bad, or no, you just let go of that, and then a lot of the defensiveness and divisions and conflicts disappear and dissolve when we can let go and see those things as very temporary, not important, or places, locations and buildings and the identities that go with those, and wealth, legacy. There was a lot in there about legacy. That's very interesting to see that challenged in this kind of environment, where ancestry and is very emphasized in Chinese culture, right? Hokkien culture. That's if the Buddha had been really big on legacy, then he would have had a different way of being completely. Even when his son came to him and said, "Dad, can I have the land? Where's my inheritance?" And he just said, "No, I give you the meditation, I give you the Dharma," that legacy. So please, would anyone like to be courageous and break the silence? And please, Bante. Yes, please. Can you get that? You go. Unless you want to. Do you want to go through a microphone? You can. Welcome.
No, it's not working, is it? Can you get it?
It will be recorded really well. But
Very
it won't come
good,
out the
very
speakers. Yeah, it will come out on the recording. So.
Okay, so I speak up a bit. Just thank you very much, Bante, for this very insightful and pleasant presentation talk. Really sweet to see.
just here.
Yeah. And just also a short reflection of this. You're speaking about identity, and in the English language, the word we normally refer to as myself as I. It's just the letter I. I. A broken I. Yeah. A capital I. A capital I, and very much, and also like chiming in with your sort of presentation and with your humors. Also, then when we use this I, and we are constantly, and when we are unaware, in the state of I making. Yeah. So this can be like a prison cell. You have the different I's, I as the letter, and you just look through them, and it's like then the I becomes the prison. It's really just that really which bonds us very much. So that's the case. Right. Yeah. Just a short reflection around that one.
Good, yeah. Yeah. Does anyone else feel that, or have they witnessed that you can get into being a prisoner of a self? You can work at a company and you're the secretary, but that secretary is really a prisoner of that place, or anything, even a country. You can feel like you're a prisoner of a place because you're trapped by contracts and obligations and identities and hats that you're wearing and uniforms and labels that people put on you and all of these, and the traps, the different senses of identity we put on ourselves, that we have to be this thing. Some of them, like the family ones were mentioned, I'm the responsible one, I'm the eldest one, and I'm the one that, no, I, and all these burdens of the self. Has anyone else experienced that? Can you identify with that? Or sometimes when you let things go, like when I came to ordain, I dropped being a musician. It was an enormous it was great weight off my shoulders. It was like keeping a racehorse or a racing car in your garage. It was an enormous, investment. Oh God, all these things, all these instruments, and all these different skills you have to get. And, you just go for a pleasant cup of coffee, and you're like listening. You're trapped listening to the music. It's really that's really a tyranny. You think it's a pleasure. Anyone else like to share along those themes, please, sister?
I always have something to share.
I'd like that. We would all like to hear your reflection, please.
Thank you. I really love Dharma and contemplations on Dharma. So maybe a few things, if they still come up, because they are impermanent, they come, then new idea and following, as you said, just as that music attracts. So in your presentation, it was very interesting, this situation at the table that they have these comparisons hidden in their minds. They all look to be the same, look to be welcoming each other, but inside everybody still pays attention to some facts that create contact and then feeling and then recognition, and then it all creates a story. And then another one, somebody young comes in the room. So this is a changing condition. Whatever we create, whatever we believe, whatever we fix already and attach is actually unstable. It crashes down, it collapses once the condition changes. So it was perfectly expressed by this newcomer in the room, when somebody probably already estimated their position according to her or according to him. Here I'm lower, here I'm higher. But a newcomer with new qualities, maybe younger than you, but something like has gone through some similar experience, and then you lose the estimation that you've already made. So nothing is permanent, everything is impermanent. No sense to grasp and to attach to anything. And what else was there interesting? I haven't experienced personally. I'm a young Sīla, young nun, only half a year. So when a bowl falls down in the market, I can imagine what kind of embarrassment it can be. Right. Although we are ordained, as you just mentioned, and we leave behind and we renounce many things in our life, but then in monkhood life, in nunhood life, there are still mind continues. It will find what to attach and how to keep our face straight and poker face. but things will happen and they will still disturb our mind and we will still have all that work going on. So although we have less possessions, but yes, we have more work to do just because we say we kind of sacrifice our life to doing this Dharma work. And by doing so, as now what happens in the organization, I come from Tabarwa, who is partially hosted by the monastery here. And we have a mental girl, a Chinese girl with mental problems. And she came with her mom just about a week ago. And her behavior is very strange. She cannot control her mind, she cannot control her body. So she jumps and claps her hands and rolls on the floor just to express whatever is happening on her mind. And the teaching of our master is that we should just be mindful with detachment to her behavior and to our own reaction on her. And we accept her as she is. And this identity of hers, of being mentally sick, has already a strong attachment in the mind of her mother. Her mother knows she's like this. She's used to be worrying for her, to be embarrassed in front of the others for her behavior. So, but by being in a different environment with people who practice mindfulness with detachment, we see tremendous results of the change, of the impermanence of the nature, that there is no someone really existing. So time after time, she just stopped behaving in that really unbalanced and uncontrolled way, and she started more be social, just to come to people, try to talk. She speaks little English, she would try to connect in English. And then day after day, now just 1 week later, she comes and sits quietly in the meditation hall. She just sits and doesn't disturb people. She doesn't make any loud noises. And then last night she took a meditation mat and she sat like that and closed her eyes. And we didn't explain to her how to meditate. But Sayadaw, our teacher, he just told her, you can try to control your body and mind. You can see and behave like others. You don't have to behave like a child anymore. You are 18 years old. But her age is estimated at behavior like 7 years old maybe. And no much teaching, not much instruction, just detachment from being like that. So she just comes and tries to sit and close her eyes and be like everyone else. So I want just to say that the practice that we are doing, our own mind, paying attention and changing the patterns of behavior of our mind, this is not only for ourselves, because we create an example to others. We change the environment. And same as if we go to play table tennis, we will be very good at playing table tennis. But if we play this understanding of Dhamma and meditation and change of mind, abandoning what is unwholesome and taking on what is wholesome, then this is what we are, and this is what others can learn from us.
Yeah. Anyone else like to follow on from that? Chan? Yeah? Please. Chan, thank you very much, Chan.
Thank you. I don't have much to say, but I think it's every one of us just working on our own thing. The I thing, it's very, very strong in each one of us. I don't know how in society, if everybody just drop the I don't even know if things can work, because we're so used with the mainstream, we're so used with the society in doing I. So if we all drop it at the same time, I don't know if this world will working. I know it's not going to happen. It's hard enough to do it on our own. It's just a small group, I think it's possible with a lot of working.
Right.
So I think this is why the Buddhism, it doesn't grow like any other teaching or religion. Because it's harder. Yeah, it's much harder to follow the teaching than any other teaching, I think. I call it teaching, it's religion. But I think Buddhism, that's why it's only stay in a small group of people.
Yeah. Quality, not quantity.
Yes, quality is not quantity. Because it's easier to just believe and do what you're told compared to working on your own, looking in every moment that we do. I mean, every day we are forced to make a decision, right? Little choice, go to another choice. I think with Buddhism, that's really, we have enough to practice in daily life. Not even doing outside, just inside. Yeah. I think it's a lot work to do.
Anyone else like to follow on from Chan? No? Anyone else? Just around.
Thank you.
So that was very interesting listening to this sister. Have other people, I don't know how many of us were over, but so there's this very bulky, large, girl with, she has like, what's it called, Down syndrome, I think, or cerebral palsy, or something like that, or autistic spectrum. I was kind of envious of her, because everyone else was sitting really correct and proper, like you were saying, it's hard work, right? And she was like going, yeah, I know, I just want to party and romping everywhere, and she reminded me a bit of the monkeys. The monkeys get in the room above hall 1, it's all smooth flooring, and they never experience smooth flooring, monkeys, right? It's a jungle. And they like put their face on it and they run along, like, they go, look at the others, haven't you ever go? And they all come up, what, like this? And they all like, just play around. But I can imagine that the guardian angels sort of look down at me and go, look, he's sitting very comfortably now. I can remember the days when he was running all over the place, and he was like, oh, what? So we're all on a gradual path of training, right? So the Buddha said it's like sloping like the ocean, that you don't expect to like get it all at once into the deep depths. It's like we gradually go from 5 precepts to 8 precepts, and and gradually train ourselves over many lifetimes as well. It takes time, and it's an acquired taste, and it's not a quick fix, or like the stair building story. The sort of false promises of magical, wonderful lands of eternal happiness after death. That's easy to say, or 20 virgins, or whatever the false promises kind of are. So thank you. That's been very very enjoyable. Thank you for sharing, Venerables and Chan, everyone else for accompanying. Thank you for coming along, brother. He also assisted with the helping donate the speaker, which makes it nice and comfortable to hear. So sometimes it's very little noisy, right, with the rain, everything.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
No, you don't.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you so much for your dedication. I think bring all this thing. I keep thinking about how you brought it from downstairs by yourself, all these cheers.
You're welcome. Really, it means a lot to me.
Maybe next time ask for help.
That's actually a big lesson. There's a big ego to come over that, is like not to do everything on my own. I think that's a big thing for Westerners, is just to say, can I have some help, please? That's a big one. Even from a therapeutic point of view or anything, is say like, I need some help, could I have some help? Or just from a practical point of view, these kind of things, yeah. Thank you. That's and also I want to say thanks to he's not here, but the gardener guy for fixing up all this. He did it in an instant. It was really, really fast, and he did a really good job. And which brings me a little bit to the schedule, because on Thursday, no talk, and then the following Monday, 2 talks, kind of one after another. I don't know what's going on with this. Up back at Hall 2. So we'll do the same thing like this, and then we'll all break for lunch, and we'll all go mingle and have a great chat and everything, and then just go in. This one was a little bit long, so there will be a 30-minute talk, and then a sit after lunch, and then a little bit of a sharing, and then everyone go home and everything. If that's agreeable with everyone. As far as we know, as far as conditions we can see that far ahead, we never know what might happen. Okay, so Abby's not here to lead it, so I'll do what I can with the chanting. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Pati Patiya Buddhang Pujemi Sabada. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Pati Patiya Dhammang Pujemi Sabada. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Pati Patiya Sanghang Pujemi Sabada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.